All right, welcome to another episode of Seeds of Music. I'm your host, Kyle Williams, and this is the #1 web show where aspiring independent artists and do-it-yourself musicians can learn right now how to gain wider exposure, grow a strong base of raving fans, and make a living doing what they love. On this week's episode, we have the ever-versatile producer, Troy McFarlane, aka TMAC, along with hip-hop artist Konundrum Spitzz. And the subject is the power that versatility and collaboration can have in helping your career move forward and getting things done. Stay tuned. All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Seeds of Music. On the show, we have today Troy McFarlane, aka T-Mac, and Konundrum Spitzz. Guys, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
So you guys are out in New York right now.
Yeah, New York. We're out here for a couple of other radio interviews and a couple of other things, so it's been fun so far.
Just been doing. I mean, how much time would you say you've been put into just running the circuit, doing interviews on radio shows and podcasts and whatnot? I mean, how long is that? How long have you been doing that?
Well, I mean, we really just started doing this recently because of the new album.
Okay.
Otherwise, yeah, I mean, we're really hitting the radio stuff hard now so that we can promote, and then next year really hit the shows hard.
Okay. So tell me more about your strategy that you're coming at with the promotion of your new album, creation over consumption.
Okay. Well, we've both been doing music for a while, together only for maybe a couple years now, but basically we had the strategy of, I'm going to put together an album that is kind of like David Guetta and Timbaland style, where I showcase 10 artists on the album, and it really showcases my production.
Okay.
So I featured Konundrum on about 5 or 6 of the songs to really get people familiar with that name, because in the future, next year, we're going to do a Mac and Spitzz collaboration, like an album together. So we're kind of gearing people up to get to know that. So what we've been doing since April is we've released a music video or a single every 2 months until now, and now the album's out, because I mean, really, it's all about just dropping the singles nowadays and kind of buzz separately and always staying relevant. So that's kind of why we're doing it that way.
It's interesting that you say that. It being all about the singles now is because it's kind of hard to just push an album all at once, and people, they can stream music and they can get it on demand and it's available everywhere. So I mean, what was your thinking when you thought, oh, I'm just gonna follow this up or at least release a bunch of singles and then before I do anything else? I mean, what was your thought process there?
Thought process was to drop singles, especially with Konundrum Spitzz in it, so that they could see our faces, see that we're working together. So when Mac and Spitzz comes out, it's not like, oh, what the hell is that, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's, also, the only reason is now we got accepted on Pandora.
Okay.
And so it's difficult process. It's like they make the process really hard. So you have to be, on iTunes, on Amazon MP3, and on Amazon physical copies. So and the minimum to sell a physical copy on Amazon is $4.95. Mm-hmm. So basically, you almost have to have an EP at least.
Yeah.
So
that's interesting. And are you looking to put your music on other streaming services besides Pandora?
Yeah, we've got Spotify already. Mm-hmm. We're on a bunch of different streaming sources, digital retailers.
Yeah, we have.
Find it anywhere.
Yeah, we have digital distribution through The Orchard.
Okay.
They're a pretty big independent company. I think they're owned by owned by Sony now, but that's what they're trying to do, just take over all the indie stuff again that they can happen.
Taking over the world.
So how's the streaming and the Pandora going to play in for the new album? I mean, are you going to have that available on there, or are you going to use that in some other way?
We haven't really gone as far to decide whether or not we're going to do that first.
Okay.
For the Mac and Spitzz album, but the Mac and Spitzz album is it's pretty much that. It's a bunch of different stuff, and it's a bunch of just bangers. So, some good stuff.
So
It's,
the
it's
creation over
down.
consumption, is that what the Mac and Spitz album that you're talking about? Just to like kind of get it clear, is that the same album we're talking about?
Creation Over Consumption is TMAC's album. That's my album.
Okay, that's your album. Okay.
Yeah. And that's just a compilation, basically, of all my production and 10 different artists. Konundrum being on it a lot, so people get used to it.
The Mac and Spitz album is the next.
Okay, so we got a new album release here, but we ain't got something else down the pipeline that's coming up. Okay, that's cool, man. So you guys have I mean, what's your story? You said you've both been doing music for a while, but you've only been making music together for a couple of years. I mean, what got you guys into this?
Okay, so I'll start with me first. I've been doing music for a while. I even have a degree in music. So I have a bachelor's of music from Minnesota State Moorhead.
Okay.
I started really making beats in like 2003, like after I graduated high school. And then I was like, I want to get more into music, and so I went to music and really did the audio engineering and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And I was in a different group back then. It was a group called TNT.
Okay.
And we did a bunch of shows in the Fargo, North Dakota, Moorhead, Minnesota area.
I've seen the shirt that you lived in Fargo. Nice.
And so, after I graduated, I got to a point where I basically maximized what I could there. And, you just have to go bigger once you get to that certain point. And I had to either go East Coast or West Coast. And
okay. How'd you make that decision?
I actually ended up going to London in 2009 for about 4 months and doing shows all over England. So, and then when I moved back, I moved to San Francisco and started working with him. So we worked at Crunch Fitness together.
Yeah. The first day we just hit it off musically. I mean, he started showing me his stuff, and I started showing him some of my stuff. And a little bit about me, I came up on the battle scene. So I was with a different group too. I was with Drama Kazi, and we were pretty much battle scene, underground. And we did a few mixtapes together and toured a little bit around San Francisco, but mostly just stayed, real homegrown. And when I met this dude, we started hitting it off and vibing.
So you met up in San Francisco?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right on. And where are you originally from, Spitz?
I'm from San Francisco originally.
Okay.
So.
And so how was the music scene out in San Francisco growing up in that? I mean, you guys obviously both ended up there. Was there a reason that you chose to be in San Francisco?
I went there originally because one of my friends lived there.
Okay.
And it was a place for me to crash. He said, you know what, you can come out here and stay with me for 4 months. So I'm like, all right, cool. And then I can get on my feet. And then things just happen. And then you end up, I went down to LA for a while for like 9 months and produced another singer's album.
Okay, right on.
His name is Chris Searle. So I produced his last album, and then I came back to San Francisco because, we were working on a lot of stuff too. So
yeah, the San Francisco music scene is it's crazy. It's up and down, but it's really still there. It's really homegrown. Everything is kind of just really tight knit, and everything kind of stays in San Francisco.
Is it like I'm sorry, go ahead.
Like the rap hip hop scene is very like Bay Area has a style of music, so
yeah. Okay.
And it doesn't really, not a lot of it gets out of that area, but you can still be super successful because there's a lot of people in the Bay Area. So
yeah,
and the stuff that does get out is the stuff that different.
I'm sorry, just repeat what that said. Scott skipped a little bit there.
So the stuff that does get out is the stuff that sounds different. And I feel like we have a really different, unique sound compared to like a lot of the stuff that you might hear from the Bay Area. So
interesting. And so like, what is your biggest goal with music right now? I mean, like you've already slugged it out, developing your music. I mean, obviously, like Troy, you've worked on your craft to the point where you have like a professional polish, and same for you, Spitz. What is your biggest goal with music right now, and even just beyond the release of creation over consumption?
I think, right now we're dabbling in a lot of stuff. We have our own music publishing company we started a few years ago called Audio Hounds, and we're kind of dabbling in a bunch of different pots. And the production, audio engineering, like that's my forte. But we're also really good at rapping and singing, creating. So
okay.
I think in the long run, to be able to have audio hounds as kind of like a Rock Nation, like Jay-Z's camp, where they
Okay.
do publishing, licensing, production for artists, like
Management, everything.
a full-fledged company. Yeah,
Yeah.
Did you do the music business degree as well?
I did an emphasis in music business. Yeah,
Okay.
so I took some business classes. Yeah.
So it sounds like you're building like a system of support like around your music where it's not just you're relying on one stream of income, like, oh, I rely on people buying my beats, or I rely on people sending me tracks to mix or master. I mean, what for you has been like your main avenue of income in this whole process?
Production or audio engineering. Because for every rapper, for every singer, there's like one producer for every like 10 singers or rappers out there. So it's like production is the smarter path to go. And me and him, it's like it just rolls out. Like we have so many ideas that when we involve all these other people, they're like, wow, because everything's already laid out on a platter for them. Oh, all I gotta do is rap on this verse. Oh, all I gotta do is re-sing this.
Oh,
All I
yeah.
gotta do and it's so I think a production team is kind of the biggest goal.
Okay, so what's the state of your production team now? I mean, what would you like to add in the future?
Um, I'm actually working with a pretty good songwriter down in LA who's written for a lot of big artists. Like she's written for One Republic, Ellie Goulding,
Okay.
yeah, all types of people. And I think after seeing that perspective on the line of songwriting, I think having a couple good songwriters to help recraft stuff we do, or like at least another set of ears. So I mean, and we have a third partner on Audio Hounds. His name is Hank Mitchell, aka VA, and he's a good writer. So he gives us pretty critical feedback when we show him stuff. But I mean, having more people never hurts. Having more ears.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't hurt at all. What is like the what piece of advice would you have for someone who's getting into production, or is maybe an independent artist who does write, maybe does play an instrument or sing, but they also want to learn how to produce their own music? I mean, where should they start?
I think the best thing is knowing where you want to be, like what your style is, what you want to accomplish when you're writing a song, or you're, making a beat, or you're, really refining a track, and just knowing the pitch of what you want to get out of it, what you want to hear,
Yeah.
the vision. That's the biggest thing.
And I mean, it's consistency and persistence. It's like
Yeah.
just pound your craft. Like Macklemore was saying on one of his songs, he's like, the best painters in the world aren't the best painters because they are. They're the best painters because they paint a lot.
Yeah.
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 So it's like you just have to pound and beat on your craft, like still, like to be honest, I haven't found a exact like that is now my main focus. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drop everything else. So like I'm a master at one thing and not like a jack of all trades.
Okay.
But it's hard because you have to dabble to know what you're going to be the best at or what you like doing the best.
So having that little adventure, some spirit where you're just following your inclinations, like what interests you, to see where it leads, and eventually that kind of leads you down a path where you find something that maybe you're like, this is fits me perfectly, suits my personality perfectly. I've actually mentioned this book before that I read that talks a lot about that. It's called Mastery, written by a guy named Robert Greene, and yeah, that he talks about the same kind of the concept where you're just following your inclinations, and you eventually land on something that you can master. I mean, for you, what do you think? Would you think that you would eventually, the mixing and engineering or producing, could be possibly where you'll land at, just specifically?
Yeah, I mean, when I look back on everything I've done before, and producing doesn't just mean making beats, it means getting everything organized and making the things happen, like producing the product. So, and that's what I'm the best at, is getting everyone's time frames and getting all the things we need for music videos and getting all the people involved, so I'm the makes it happen, basically.
Kind of administrative in a way. What's the biggest misconception that future, I guess, aspiring producers might have about the production business? Like, if you could look back on all of your experiences as a producer, would you look at like one big mistake that you made and be like, oh, okay, I would change that if I could go back?
Something that he touched on before is like a lot of producers think that I'm a producer because I make beats, and then
right, that's a beat maker.
Somebody goes to him and is like, okay, we'll produce this track, and they're like, well, I think I did, and they didn't do half the work, So you got to really refine that craft and hone that skill as well. If you're going to be a producer, produce, be able to mix it,
Because it's another one of those things. There's a lot of, now, like when I say for every 10 singers, there's one producer.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing within the producers. Like it's like
every 10 producers is one that knows what he's doing.
There's one producer, and then there's like nine beat makers.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially hip hop, rap, and stuff.
Yeah.
Right on. And like, what do you? I just want to hit you up, Spitz, with this question. I mean, what do you enjoy doing most, like out of this whole process? Because it seems like you both have like your hands in a lot of the different areas. But what resonates with you the most?
Mainly, I enjoy songwriting. That's something that I've always been into. I mean, I was writing poetry when I was a kid, and that's really what I started off doing. And so, songwriting is my favorite thing. And then also, we do a really good job of co-organizing everything. So, putting together events and then, shooting the music videos. We both are really good at that. We kind of catch each other's back when we.
And we're both. I mean, we're both in sales too. So like, we both can talk to anybody. And that's the hardest thing because you're always selling yourself, no matter what you're doing. So
that's true. What do you think about how a lot of artists kind of turn their nose up at sales? I mean, what's your opinion as like how to safely bring sales into the art?
You just have to create good relationships. I mean, you never know. I mean, networking, like people can be out and about and being like, hey, buy my album here. I have these CDs right here. Buy them from me. It's good. It's like,
yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like cold calling. But if you're really finding what these people want or who wants it, like really the market and selling yourself is really doing shows. I mean, that's why we're really going to get into shows because once they see it, you don't have to sell it because you're selling yourself on the stage.
Yeah.
Without saying buy my CD.
It's like you don't have to like wait in the grocery store parking lot and walk up to random people with a CD and hope that they pay for it, and that's just like, man, just
it's like it's like what's her name said, the girl that did the Kickstarter that raised 1.2 million,
Amanda Palmer.
Mm-hmm. She said that you don't ask people to buy it, let people buy it.
Yeah. You want people to want to buy it. I mean, you don't want to force them to buy it, and that's what's been going on for the majority of the industry. Industry's been trying to control people and force them to pay when it's just, the reality is they got to like you, they got to go to your shows, they got to have a kick-ass time, and then want to support you after that. I mean, how is your fan base? Like, you have like how do you interact with your fan base currently?
We do a lot through social media, Facebook, Twitter, a lot of different avenues. We have Hootsuite, and that's one of our favorite things to do. Hootsuite.
To manage them.
You put everything on Hootsuite and just blast out, and then you can hit people individually as well and say, "Hey, did you see that blast that we put out?"
Cool.
Nice.
And the way, I mean, like you were talking about before, you were asking about our strategy. Basically, that's why I haven't put out anything myself for about 2 years. So that's why I wanted to put the videos out, because a lot of people that know me have seen me perform back in Fargo, Moorhead area a lot. I haven't done any shows out in San Francisco yet. So I still have a big following in Fargo, Moorhead area, so I'm utilizing that because now it's like oh man, he's out in Cali, he's really grinding. They're seeing all these pictures and these radio shows, and it's really building from the center where it started. And a lot of people know him from the Bay, especially that have been in the rap scene. But we kind of took a break because we've just been getting all the content ready. Because once you have content, like we're building ourselves for longevity. We're not just making a hit song and trying to put it out all without having a backup.
Yeah. Which, I mean, writing a hit. I mean, so you get a hit, and then what? How do you follow that up? You know, you don't want to like take off from the runway and then just like fall flat on your face right afterwards. And that's smart. That's really smart, and it's playing with how things are currently with the music industry for sure. So for this new album, Creation Over Consumption, what's the biggest thing that you've learned in creating this album than from anything else that you've done in the past?
Managing different artists, basically organizing them. But the people who made the people who made the cut of the album they're down. And if there's one piece of advice I would give is like, for example, we went to the Bay Area Producers Conference like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
The first single I released on Creation Over Consumption is called Alone, featuring a singer named Tori Quinn.
Okay.
And it's like, we networked, we met like 50 people or whatever, but it's the people that are actually responsive with you and that actually want to work, makes you actually want to work with them. And so even if I got one person out of those 50, it was worth it because now, that happened.
Yeah. What's a big red flag for Spitz? What do you think is a big red flag for someone that I don't want to work with this person?
Two things. You look at them and they don't have anything to show for what they've been doing. Mm-hmm. That's the one big red flag. Second is they're not responsive. That's the biggest thing. If you're not responsive, if I try to hit you up and you're not trying to hit me back, I know it's not going to happen in the future either. So, if it's hard to get a hold of you now, it's not going to happen in the future at all.
Yeah. It's that first impression and expression of professionalism, because I think professionalism, it seems like, is something that it's hard for a lot of artists and musicians to get a hold of. What's your biggest tip for just being responsive? I mean, do you just how do you manage it?
I'll take on that one. So all anyone really would like is, I don't care if you say yes or no, but just give me an answer so I can move on, so I don't waste my time.
Yeah.
Because the time is valuable, and it's like, we want to feature one rapper on a song, and it's like back and forth, and it's like, you know what, just tell me, can you make it or not? Or do you want to be on this or not? Like, do you want to be involved? I'm trying to help you. You're trying to help me. Like, let's get it done.
I can sense the frustration there. I can already see it in my head. Like you're like holding the phone or you're on your computer, just like, oh man, yeah.
And half of being involved in projects or being involved in anything is just being around, Mm-hmm. So if you have somebody that you really are admiring, this is a big piece of advice. If you have somebody that you really admire and they're taking their time out of their day, really just be around and really be focused on the goal. Know what the goal is, focus on it with them, So it's not a one-way street.
Yeah. So don't get too always like give. Don't get too absorbed in yourself, because it seems like for you guys a lot of your success is tied up in collaboration. I mean, what's your opinion on like the competitiveness of the music market right now, along with the need for collaboration?
Well, I mean, take for instance Avicii's new song, the "Wake Me Up."
Oh yeah, okay. I was like, okay, I didn't know that one.
Anytime you can bring two genres together, you capture both fans, and then you capture fans that aren't even really fans. I mean, a good hot is hot. A good song is going to rise to the top. But it's easier when you have more people involved because you have more. I mean, nobody makes it themselves, right? So it's like the more you can involve.
You know who plays guitar on that? Who's playing the acoustic guitar in the background?
It's the lead singer or the lead guitarist from Incubus.
Yeah, Mike Einziger. That's how I found out about that because I'm a big Incubus fan, and I was like, he's on this like Swedish like dance track. That's like, it was really interesting, man. So.
Aloe Black is the singer, and he's actually like a soul singer, like an R&B singer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's singing like country ballads. So you're not only capturing, electronic, the country, and like the Swedish, but you're also capturing, R&B,
and whoever,
exactly, so.
That's crazy.
Right on, man. Well, before I finish up this interview, guys, man, can you let everyone know what's the best way to connect with you, to stay up to date on what you're doing, and especially get in on the release of Creation Over Consumption?
So for me, you can just add me as a Facebook friend. I'm the only Troy McFarlane. So
on the in Facebook on the planet.
I'm the only one that pops up spelt that way because it's MAC.
Oh, yeah, McFarlane. Okay. Yeah, and not McFarlane like MC. Okay.
You can follow me on Twitter at Konundrum Spitzz. That's spelled Conundrum with a K.
Okay.
And then Spitz with 2 Z's at the end. SPITZZ.
We'll make it easy, and I'll have these linked up below, so guys, you can just check the links below and be able to get in all the action. Last question, man. I'm gonna see if this trips you up because sometimes it does, and you both have to answer it individually. What's your favorite album, and what would your life be like if it didn't exist? Yeah.
Of all time?
Of all time, man. I'm making this hard, man.
I'm gonna go with very classic album, and it's don't judge me for this, but it's Marvin Gaye, Greatest Hits.
I wouldn't judge. What? I would judge you because it's a Greatest Hits album, not like an actual album. No, I wouldn't judge you.
Hey man, the Eagles' Greatest Hits is like the #1 most selling album of all time.
Really?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
And Marvin Gaye, Greatest Hits. If that album, if Marvin Gaye had never made all those hits, my mom probably wouldn't have been putting on those records. I wouldn't have had music in my life as early as I did. I might not be here right now.
So you had a unique way of thinking of it because you're like, I'll just pick the Greatest Hits album, and that means none of like the best music will ever be made.
Yeah. Exactly.
So what about you, Troy? Wait, are you going with Eagles' Greatest Hits?
No. No. This is a very hard question because
man. That's all right. It's supposed to be, man.
Because I got to pick an album as a whole. I mean, off the top of the head, it would have to be. I can't say one. It has to be. It's either Tupac, All Eyes on Me.
Okay.
That double disc album was. That's what really got me like into listening to rap, basically.
Okay.
So
I think that's important then, right?
I wouldn't have started making beats and actually rapping and writing rap songs because my rap used to be a lot different than it is now.
Okay.
Obviously, it was like rapping about girls and drinking and smoking and whatever. Now it has some solidness to it.
Yeah. Do you feel like you went on the positive tip, like because I've listened to some of the lyrics and some of them seem like or at least like for the artists you collaborate with, some of the songs seem to be on the positive tip. Like, what do you think about that?
Right. I mean, it's hard to. Nobody really wants to hear gangster rap anymore, especially with so much violence that's happening everywhere. It's like, we're not. I mean, we're trying to portray a bigger message, anyways. Like, we're trying to showcase our talent. Like,
I think it's not even about like positive per se, but just having something different to say, having some depth.
Like have meaning to it. So it's. I mean, even like Kendrick Lamar. I mean, that's pretty. That's pretty gangster stuff, but it's real and it's you really get zoned in.
It's got that slow flow style. Like, I mean, it's like it's not much like what I'm into as far as hip hop goes, but I can say that like when I hear it, I know it's him. So it's like a stamp, that shows like his individuality. So that's definitely respectable. So guys, thanks again for coming on, man.
Oh, and you're based out of LA, right?
Oh yeah.
So
I'm right in the valley.
I'm gonna be in LA on Saturday to Monday. So I got a CD for you if you're gonna be around.
Oh, right on, man. Yeah, man. I'm looking at my big calendar on the wall right now. Totally free.
Man, updated. No, I'm just kidding.
Let me update it. I use this right here. I'm old school. I just go write something on there.
I've never seen one of those before. Is that like some sort of recording device?
Yeah, man. I don't know. I try to use it on my iPad, and doesn't quite work right.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think kids are going to even know how to write anymore?
Well, I've never know. I mean, my handwriting has always been. I know how to write, but my handwriting has always sucked. So I don't know. As long as I don't have kids, I think they'll be fine. The generations. I mean, my handwriting just sucks, man. It looks like I have cerebral palsy or something, like the shakes, you know, and slight mental retardation. It's horrible.
You know what they say about handwriting? The people that are the smartest have the worst handwriting.
All right, yeah, and like I said, my handwriting is the worst, dude, of everyone.
It's intelligent.
I'm telling you, man. So I'm like a genius, obviously, just by design. You know what? Honestly, I'm now. You made me feel so much better because I used to worry that my handwriting sucked and that was going to make my life a living hell. But now I'm not going to even try to improve it. I'm just gonna quote that.
Verse.
All right, right on, man. Once again, Troy McFarlane, aka TMAC, and Konundrum Spitzz, man. Thanks, guys, for coming on. And Troy, when you come out here to breathe in the fresh LA air, I guess just I know why you're coming out. That's why I'm here. It smells so good when I walk outside. No, it's a really nice weather here. It's November and it's not even cold at all. So I'll look forward to seeing you and picking up that CD, man.
Yeah, for sure. Let's grab a coffee or something.
Okay, right on, man. I'll look forward to it, and I'll get some beat making tips as well. All right, man. Check you later.
Thank you.
Right on. Thank you.
And that wraps up another episode of Seeds of Music. On the show today, we had Troy McFarlane, aka TMAC, and Konundrum Spitzz on the show live from New York City. Make sure to check out their links below and to connect with these guys. Also, check out their new album, Creation Over Consumption. So sign up for the email newsletter next. If you haven't already, it's the best way to stay up to date with everything that's happening at Seeds of Music and make sure that you never miss an interview. Also, if you feel like you like this interview, you learned something of value, please like and share it as much as possible. The more you share, the more these ideas spread. The more these ideas spread, the better we feel. So eat your beans at every meal. So comment on the video. What was your greatest takeaway from the interview, and how are you applying what you've learned, and who would you like to see interviewed? Just send an email to kyle.seedsofmusic@gmail.com. I answer every email. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time.